All right, so the angle addition postulate. So this is very similar to the segment addition postulate, if you remember, back to 1.3 way back when last week. So the angle addition postulate says if you have an angle, in this case, we're using AXZ as the example, and then you have point B somewhere on the interior of that angle, and then you can form another ray XB, right, which forms another two angles. And so you have angle AXB as well as angle BXC, right? So what the angle addition postulate says is if you add AXB, which is the green one that I did, with BXC, then you get AXC, right? So basically the sum of the parts is equal to the whole, right? Just like with the segment addition postulate. So hopefully that's intuitive, but definitely bring questions to class if you have them. All right, so an example using the angle addition postulate. Here we have number 20 says Z is in the interior of angle GHI. The measure of angle GHI is 170. The measure of angle GHZ is 3s minus 5. And the measure of angle ZHI is 2s plus 25. So one thing you can do in this situation, if it helps, is to draw a diagram. So for me, I'm a visual person, so it usually helps me, but this is not mandatory. All right, so I have angle GHI. So remember, H is the vertex. And then I have G and I. And then Z is on the interior, right? So somewhere I have Z. Okay. And so I can make ray HZ. Okay, so then let's fill in these values. So GHI is 170, right? So this angle here is 170. Okay. GHZ is 3s minus 5. So 3s minus 5 for GHZ, right? And then the last one, ZHI, is 2s plus 25. Okay, so what I know is if I add up the two parts, that should equal the whole, right? So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to set up an equation. 2s plus 25 plus 3s minus 5 equals 170. All right. So watch out when you're writing this example, s's and 5s. So these are s's, right? And then the other ones are 5s. I try to distinguish between the s's and the 5s as usual. All right, so now just some algebra, right? We're combining like terms. So 2s plus 3s is 5s. And then 25 minus 5 is 20. So now we can subtract 20 from both sides. We get 5s equals 150. And then we can divide by 5. And we get s equals 30. All right, so what is the value of s? S equals 30, right? All right, and then part B says, what are the measures of GHZ and ZHI, right? We already know the measure of GHI, right? That's given. So now for the measure of GHZ, that's going to be 3s minus 5. So now that we know s, we can substitute that value. So 3 times 30 minus 5 be 90 minus 5 be 85, right? So 85 degrees for GHZ. For ZHI, that value was 2s plus 25, so it's going to be 2 multiplied by 30 plus 25. And so we get 60 plus 25, which is also 85. All right. Now that's coincidental. They're not, those values are not always going to be the same, right? But in this case, they were. And so, so that means they're congruent, right? When two angles have the same measure, they are congruent.